In Britain today, 90% of our cemeteries are full, and crematoria are being classed as environmentally unfriendly. To discover what'll happen to me when I die, I've decided to embark on a personal journey, and I'm taking my virtual self with me. Rob 2 is me. He's my dead ringer. He's quite a formidable character. He's a bit taller than me, yeah. He's what I would have been if I was fed properly as a child. Because it starts with the dark art of embalming. They basically pump the blood out of your veins and replace that with formaldehyde, which is an incredibly toxic chemical. Then, one by one, it gets worse, they pierce all of your internal organs so that under pressure they can suck out the juice of that and then replace into the void more formaldehyde. So you no longer rot, but you're sort of just stuck in the ground, this sort of petrified version of yourself until your coffin collapses and then you're all just crumbled into the dirt underneath. And I'm sorry, Rob, you might only be plastic, mate, but I just can't do it to him. So I think I'm going to have to keep looking for what's right for me and him.
This house has become a time machine. For 3 months, one ordinary family and 12 volunteers are living as they would have lived at the dawn of the 20th century. They're finding out what it means to be masters and servants, living upstairs and downstairs in a grand manor house.
I don't see how they can not have any idea what goes on there. I don't know what they think we're doing down here. They must have some idea about it being cack. I put the tray down and yes, I might have puffed a bit, but like, quietly. It wasn't like being all dramatic or anything. And Lady Oliver goes, "You quite all right, Robin? What's she trying to make out? That I'm going to turn around there and say, no, actually, your high and mightiness, I feel like shit, and it's mainly because of you." I mean, and then they start laughing then. All of them, didn't they? Jonty's little girly laugh. And then they all start laughing then because they think it's hilarious. They've got these, trussed-up idiots following me around with bloody trays full of crap that some mad French chef has cooked for them. And it's all just a big joke, but it's not that funny when you're tired and hungry and all you want to do is plunge a knife through the bags. It literally is Edwardian Narnia for them. It's not Edwardian at all. It's just picking the best bits of Edwardian times and the best bits of 2001 and mixing them. They thought it was some conspiracy to upset them, when in actual fact it was just Monsieur trying to cook Edwardian food.
Ah, not much of the head gone then, I see.
Like a bit of nose, would you? Like a bit of snout.
Which is more scary, tongue in you or kissing a dead pig? I'll tell you.
When entertaining Edwardian style, it was impossible to be too extravagant. Sir John has ordered a shooting lunch to be served at noon. For footmen Charlie and Rob, this means silver, china and glass must be brought up from the house, and the food served formally beneath an awning.
I got one up. Now why this won't go up, I don't know. I've done something fundamentally wrong. Only I can think what it was. Charlie, this is no time to hit the bottle.
You can have all the food around it.
Oh.
It's like a sail.
So this is Trafalgar Square. It's one of my absolute favourite places in London, and I can't wait to take a little tour around it. So let's get started. Come out of the cupboard, you boys and girls. So Trafalgar Square. Where does the name come from? Sounds so British on the one hand. You don't get more London than Trafalgar Square. But Trafalgar, what does it mean? Well, it's actually named after a cape in southern Spain. Gets even weirder. Well, don't let the name fool you. It's actually all to do with one of our national heroes, that guy up there, Nelson. Do you know? Est-ce que tu sais pourquoi le piazza s'appelle Trafalgar Square?
Oh no.
No?
I don't know.
No? Trafalgar Square, do you?
No.
No?
Oh, it's to Nelson, the Battle of Trafalgar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right, when was that then?
God knows. No, I don't.
You seem like the right person to ask.
No, I'm not.
Do you know why it's called Trafalgar Square?
It's after the Battle of Trafalgar.
Right.
It's naive as I'm going to get. Of 1805.
Do you know why this is called Trafalgar Square?
Battle of Trafalgar?
Yeah? When was that?
70-something?
Yeah? Did we win? Did we win?
No.
Yeah. Oh no. This is Nelson's Column. 50 metres high, built of solid granite. It was completed in 1843. And on each of the four sides are these iron reliefs. Now, they depict the four great naval battles of the Napoleonic Wars. There's St. Vincent's, the Battle of the Nile, the Battle of Copenhagen, and lastly, Trafalgar. But what's so special about Nelson and Trafalgar that means that he should be commemorated in such a unique way in one of the most prestigious squares in London? So Napoleon seized control of France after the French Revolution and spent the last... At which point, a sniper in the rigging of the Redoubtable shot Nelson in the shoulder. Mortally wounded, he staggered across the deck of the ship. To the captain of the ship, Hardy, he uttered the words, "Kiss me, Hardy." Ah. Now, this being the Royal Navy, Hardy promptly did. And on the forehead, I hasten to add, nothing too saucy. And then Nelson uttered the words, his last, "Thank God that I've done my duty." And he died. A happy man. So then they bundled his body into a barrel and shipped him back to England for a state funeral.
Now, I've got a special guest joining me on London Local this week. Robin Daly is here to tell us about his latest vlog. But first, let's check it out.
So here I am on London Bridge in the city of London with the beautiful Fishmongers Hall behind me there. Now, most people think that the original London Bridge was completely destroyed. But that's not quite true. If you follow me, I'll show you a tiny fragment which still exists. So there's the modern London Bridge up there, and in actual fact, the original bridge wasn't even in the same position as that. It was actually here, about 50 metres to the east of the present bridge. But this is not where the fragment survives. For that, we just need to go just around the corner here, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So come with me, because here it is, the last surviving fragment of London Bridge. It's right under my feet. Now, admittedly, it doesn't look much, but for 650 years, every single man, woman and child, cart, truck, horse and carriage, king, queen, nobleman, archbishop, they all had to come across exactly on this spot. So I think it's kind of special. But let's go inside the church. They've got a little model showing you exactly what the bridge used to look like. So this is St. Magnus the Martyr Church. It's quite a beautiful church in and of itself. But this is the real reason I brought you here, and that's to see this. It served London pretty well for, well, best part of 2,000 years, since the Romans built it in the 1st century. So why does all of this matter, you may well ask? Well, in actual fact, London Bridge is where it is because it was the furthest point down the River Thames where the Romans could build a bridge. So once the bridge had been built, that meant that the position of London itself was fixed, as it wasn't near the coast, so it could be more easily defended. Meanwhile, it was on a river, so the Romans could bring all their trade and soldiers and munitions up the river and into the city. And so that is, in a nutshell, why London is right here 2,000 years later.
So, Robin,
Yes.
what an interesting vlog. Tell us a bit more about what's inspired you to do that.
Well, I always knew that there was this part of London Bridge that apparently still survived, that wasn't demolished when the bridge was destroyed in the early 1800s, so I thought I'd go down and have a little look. And then when I finally got there, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally the end of London Bridge. It's just hidden here next to this church, so I thought I'd do a vlog.
You've gone and brought it back.
I have gone into the bowels of London and I've brought this history back to life for you.
For
and
London
the people
Local.
of London.
Of course. Well, that's what London Local is about, though. You know, it's just about all these interesting stories.
So I was going over London Bridge and I was thinking, this is horrible, London Bridge is so gross. You know, it's a horrible 70s concrete thing. I was like, I wonder what the original one looked like. So then I started looking online and found pictures of it. And then I found out that there was just this tiny bit that's still there. And I think the most amazing thing about that part of London Bridge is, as I said in the vlog, that, you know, for 2,000 years, every single person who wanted to come to London from the south had to cross London Bridge. And so they all walked. When you stand there, you're walking in the footsteps of kings and queens, you know, right the way down to, you know, the poor serfs.
What makes, for you, obviously when did you move to London then?
1997.
Okay, so you are a Londoner now.
I am.
Yes.
I'm very much so. I've lived here majority of my life. Yeah.
A proud Londoner.
A proud Londoner.
Nice.
Love
So,
the city.
Exactly. What would you say is so great about London? What makes London so unique?
What makes well, the great cities, you know, New York is an incredible city, but it doesn't have any of the history that London has. Obviously, that's my thing. But, you know, so London is an historic city, but at the same time, it's absolutely the cutting edge. You know, you look at the skyline of London, how much it's changed since... When I moved to London, there was only one tower in Canary Wharf. Now it's like a mini Manhattan, you know. So the thing that makes London so great is that it constantly changes and reinvents itself. And, you know, one little village of London will become the cool place, and in a couple of years later, no one will go there and it'll be the next place.
Yeah.
The skyline constantly changes. So it's an amazing city.
What's your favourite place in London?
My favourite place in London would have to be Clissold House in Clissold Park in Stoke Newington.
Why is that?
It's just been renovated. It's a beautiful late Georgian country house with an incredible history connected to the abolition of the slave trade. But it's just a lovely place to go and have a cuppa.
Oh, fantastic. I might just pop in there.
Come on, I'll buy.
Great stuff. We're doing it then. London Local, heading over there, and Robin, of course, going to treat us to some tea and cakes.
Just
Great.
you.
Now, if Robin has inspired you to pick up your camera or your smartphone, then do it now. Just head over to our website, londonlive.co.uk, and you can find details on how to send your stories into us, and we can share it with the rest of London.